Is that all we got for dinner today? That small little fish? Somewhere in the world, someone's like, I swear, this is well above average, damn it. Damn. Wow. No, we're buying a mansion. You keep it with you, and then you can whip it when something attacks you. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright. Maybe she's right, because we wouldn't have been able to use magic here. Maybe. Maybe she was onto something. Okay. I still think it's a mistake, though. It was worth the gamble. Ah, symbolism. Crossroads for Stark's journey on crossroads of where they go next. Frieren doesn't want to keep anyone in this party unless they want to be in there themselves. She's just happy that he might be more happy over there. Fern's looking at it as she can't lose her boy. Obviously, for the viewer, we knew this wasn't going to happen, but it's interesting to see it from both of their perspectives. She's going to give you a hug, bozo. I can't remember seeing an ending or an opening look like this. It's almost like it's directed like stop motion, but with drawings of pencil crayon. I can't believe Stark nearly did that to us. How dare he almost quit on the best party known to man. I honestly wonder how many people watching the episode unironically thought that he might actually quit. We all knew he was sticking by, but I do think it was actually solid writing to have both Frieren as well as Fern contemplate if he even wanted to be in this party or if he's just been reluctantly tagging along. Actually, some pretty amazing character drama to kickstart season 2 of Frieren, but it's really funny because collectively the viewers are going to be like, well, of course he was never going to leave, but yet it's also the most realistic thing for the characters in question to think he might. That's why this show's masterclass of character writing. Now, if you did get started in the video, make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe. If you're new around here, ring that bell, stay up to date on everything I'm uploading. If you want to go the extra mile, we do got the Patreon where you're going to catch my full live reactions, all this and more. Also helps fund the channel and videos just like these. So, I've been excited. I glazed season 1 to the moon and back, but I mean, come on. Come on. Look at that. They don't need to go as hard as they do for any flashback when it came to the heroes party, but every time, I swear to God, they either flex fire animation or the most random Mushoku Tensei bread level animation Sakuga just for shits and giggles, because what the hell is this animation? They're just literally talking around a campfire and a big ass dragon pops in and starts blowing things up. But it's not just here for Monkey Brain Oonga Boonga impact frames, it actually is a really smart parallel that ties into the end of the episode. So what ends up happening during this whole flashback is Himmel ends up picking up Frieren, who's wounded, and carries her off like this. Now we know, most beautiful love story that never came to be exactly the way I'm sure he would have liked, right? So this is a cute thing, you know, showing that he carries her off. Unfortunately, the one who smells like booze has to carry the big boy, the dwarf himself. But what's really great, and I honestly didn't even realize it until Fern and Stark were having their little talk at the very end of the episode, our boy was literally carrying Fern the same way Himmel carried Frieren. And I love the fact that it's not Frieren being carried like that again. It just really, it's the parallel of the two romances. And I thought it's so sweet because, like I said, no one should unironically watch this. I mean, I'm sure there's a handful of people who might have actually been concerned. But I think anyone who still has this show fresh on their mind from season 1 remembers our boy wants to be here. Even if, you know, he naturally instinctively wants to run away from things, he is rising up to be a hero. He really is. And I think it's so interesting when you look at someone like him pop back up, say, bro, I haven't given up. I want you to join our party. And it's really interesting because prior to this, Frieren was already starting to be like, hey bro, like, are you here because I force you to come, or do you want to be here? Like, she was already kind of willing to say, if you need to go, I understand. And she wasn't going to hold it above his head, right? Because before coming to this inn, right, they literally get to this crossroad. And anyone who knows about the whole, like, crossroads means, you know, of course, taking two different paths and understanding that there's two different choices to make. So they were already kind of foreshadowing that Frieren was very concerned about Stark maybe not actually wanting to be here. So by literally throwing it in his face that, hey, like, someone might be more suited for him than we are, maybe he feels more restricted. This isn't the look of a leader who's like, I'm pissed off we might be losing a party member. This is the look of someone saying, if that's what makes him happy, I want him to pursue it. Of course, it's a completely different reaction from that of Fern, who's basically worried shitless that, like, oh my god, he's gonna leave us. And I just love how casual he admits, like, yeah, I turned him down. Like, of course I'm not gonna leave. The fact that he also admits that it wasn't just simply Frieren bringing him out of his shell, but it was also Fern, but the natural fear he has of Fern because she's been hard enough with discipline that any sort of like signs of embrace, whether that's a hug or anything, basically has this reaction of, what the hell do you want from me? Such great character writing, and honestly, Frieren's one of the select few shows that I think are currently releasing new content in terms of, hasn't been canceled, we know they're getting more seasons, right? The ongoing shows that really know how to do character writing in very subtle ways. This, like I said, no one's going to think he's actually going to leave. Select handful might, but overall, 99% are not going to be worried he's quitting. It's not goodbye Stark, but for the characters, they legitimately felt that way, and you understood why they felt that way, and it wasn't just like stupid writing, oh, they're trying to force drama. No, they had a concern, they established that concern, and they immediately buried that concern all in one episode. Not to mention, it was just very fun watching them like almost be billionaires, if not millionaires, if they would have kept the crystal. I'll be honest, I was a bit of a hater of Fern when she told Frieren to get rid of the crystal, because the crystal nullifies magic. I thought to myself, we keep the crystal on us. If we have to fight, we throw the crystal. We can pick up the crystal after the battle. It's only 3 meters. It only nullifies magic for 3 meters. And then immediately they fell nearly to their death. And probably without that immediate buffer window right here of their drop being kind of nullified, being levitation magic, they probably would have died. So maybe Fern was right not keeping the crystals around, even though one of those crystals would have probably bought them a mansion. And if they would have somehow been able to find a way to bring all of this back, we would have been quadruple billionaires times 1,000. And that's just funny. I do like how happy, though, she was about showing off the fact that she can make flashbangs. She did it in the forest, and then she did it when they were fighting the giant frog. This is the face of someone who's very happy to be here and show off her knowledge, and I thought that was absolutely adorable. And honestly, this weird frog abomination thing that looks like it's Splatoon colored was a pretty fun fight. Very quick, very... I guess you can't even call it a fight. It kind of jumped us and then we ran away. But then you do have the action with the party formation. So it's like, there was action, but for the most part, it's an episode of just walking. And I honestly think that's what the show does so well, is that half of Frieren is just exploring a Lord of the Rings fantasy-style world without major threats more often than not. But when it does get into the threats, of course, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. But then it'll also just randomly, unexpectedly drop character drama that's not like overly emotional, but just enough to spice up the cast, I love this show. Yes, it's only a 10-episode season, but as I said when I covered the news initially, Sorcerer seems to pretty much agree that 10 episodes for what they're adapting here makes sense, given what comes after it would probably need its entire own season. So yeah, I'm very excited for more. You can let me know your thoughts down below, though. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new, and of course, Patreon, full live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I love to give video shows to my patrons, because they make these videos possible. All right, so today we got Jan Peterson, Zeekster, and we also have Refac 972. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.